Welcome back to another DR Survival Online. Welcome back, guys. So today we are still in Kiev, and we are gonna be doing the Slaughterhouse quest. But yeah, I just want to apologize, guys, for a short break, for a couple of days of not uploading DR because I've been so busy. And you know why? Because I'm getting married. Yeah, I am getting married, so I've been busy doing some invitation and all the preparation for the wedding. But anyways, enough about me. So let's continue on what you guys been waiting for, which is DR survival. So I got everything ready. I got everything done. Picked up all my guns and knives to get ready for the Slaughterhouse quest. And thank you, Mr. Slaka. Yes, I will be very careful on this one because it's so important because I could die. Exactly, I could die. So thank you so much for warning me about this quest. So, I got everything ready. Let's do this. The men going on the wolf hunt set up a temporary camp next to the burnt-out warehouse off the highway. Thick smoke rose from rusty barrels. The fighters sat on logs around the hot fire and hungrily devoured roasted potatoes and drank water from large tin mugs. Ooh, I got a fried potato! Yeah! One older comrade sat cross-legged on a red oilcloth and laid out pieces of freshly fried fish on scraps of newspaper. I noticed Gravelov nearby. He was gesticulating with a half-gnawed chicken bone, regaling the men around him with a tale from his turbulent adolescence. The men laughed, clutching their sides. The hunters were buoyed up, cheerful even, too cheerful, but they couldn't see how small their chances of survival were. They must have simply refused to entertain the possibility. Oh, I got another fish. All right. I counted 11 fighters. Nowhere near enough, but still, it was virtually every adult man in Godenichi. The only people left were women, children, old people, and 2 or 3 guys who had been seriously wounded in the last foray. 5 men were armed with assault rifles. The others had old sawed-off shotguns or double-barreled shotguns. As I recalled, automatic gunfire was effective against black wolves, but single bullets didn't bother them much. We had to hope that we weren't about to face a large pack. Gravelov saw me and stopped his storytelling, beckoning me over. And here's our friend. Oh, okay. And here's our friend, the one I told you about. The former investigator introduced me to the others. I shook their hands. He's come to all the way from Twer, so he's got some fighting experience. He promised to help with the wolves. Have you actually seen the wolves we got around here? Normal wolves have got nothing on these beasts, said the fighters next to Gravelov, looking doubtfully at me. He wasn't a young man, and he had tired, squinting eyes and a heavily lined face. I've seen them before. I killed one in Moscow. 1 on 1? The hunter repeated. The others looked over at me with respect. Impressive! Around here, we scavenge in groups of 12, at least, and not just for the she-wolf. Yuri, don't stir things up, the guy next to him said. It's bad enough as it is. We just about to head out, Gravelov said to me. If you have any questions, ask them now. Who's leading the squad? I am, and Yuri's helping, Gravelov responded. When it comes to wolves, we have the most experience, I suppose. Before Kirill was in charge of all operations, Yuri said gloomily. He was Navy Special Forces, Nikita's stepfather, the one who didn't come back from Kiev. You were there too. Maybe you saw the body. Gavrilov confirmed. He'd run out of cartridges. He couldn't retreat, so he went at the wolf with a knife. A knife! I recall the dead body with the bitten off hands. The hunter fell silent for a moment, as a sign of respect for the dead. Any more questions? Where's the she-wolf hiding? In an old slaughterhouse, 5 kilometers off the highway to Zhytomyr. Wolf cubs were sighted there, you replied. And 3 days ago, our people out there were killed. The wind hasn't changed in a long time, he added. We're going to approach the slaughterhouse from downwind. If it works and they don't catch our scent, we'll get there unnoticed. We'll take out the she-wolf and get the hell out of there. Such an optimist, Yuri. Gavrilov laughed darkly. These creatures are blind, but they'll all sniff us out a mile away. So what do you want? But they'll all come running to defend the mother. All right, so what's the plan? The plan is simple. Don't die, replied one of the hunters, Gregory. Let's consider the worst-case scenario, also known as the most likely scenario, Gavrilov said. There's a whole pack of wolves around the slaughterhouse. We got odorous smoke bombs. We'll take the beasts by surprise. We'll kill them all before they even know what's hit them. We'll go into the building, find the she-wolf, and take her out fast. The worst-case scenario is that it gets a jump on us, Yuri muttered. But if we're really stuck, we have plan B, said Gavrilov. There was a small suitcase on the ground between his feet, and he gave it a solemn pat. All right, I don't have any more questions. Then let's get started, Gavrilov said with a nod, jumping to his feet. Folks, no more chit-chat. We're moving out. The hunters scrambled to get ready. Do me a favor, would you? Gavrilov muttered, driving me off to one side. I haven't seen Nikita in over an hour. Go get him. He should be on the other side of the highway. I'd go myself, but he won't talk to me. Why? He'd probably blame me for Gator's death, his stepfather. Gavrilov sighed. And then I was the one who took him away from Kiev and stopped him getting his revenge on the wolves. Will you do it? Okay, I'll find him. It wasn't difficult to find the guy. Nikita was sitting on a large stump and he was carving something out of a lump of tree bark. He showed no reaction to my arrival. He just continues carving. Gavrilov sent you? He asked me point blank when I got closer. He asked me to come get you, he replied. He worried. Nikita frowned but said nothing. Gavrilov thinks that you hold him responsible for your stepdad's death. That's none of your business. Who are you anyway? Nikita replied in irritation. If Gavrilov wants something from me, he can come himself. He started thinking, still wielding the knife. I'll finish up and come back. Oh, is it me? I'll finish up and come back. Listen. I'm really sorry. You can take your heartfelt condolences and shove it, Nikita said, frowning. All of you. I'm sick of it. I suddenly remembered Nikita in Kiev, shooting the wolf with tears in his eyes. Okay, we gotta make sure to open him up. So let's see. Let's open up with the pretty knife. I haven't seen one like that before. Pretty? Nikita sighed. My stepdad brought it back from Europe when he was even younger than I am. He had it with him everywhere he went, you know. He slept with it under his pillow. He even kept it when he went for a swim. It always made me laugh. One time,
I had the knife as a joke, and my stepdad beat me bloody. He stuck the blade in a piece of wood and said,
When your knife rifle misfires, when your grenade doesn't go off, when your friends runs, all you have left is your knife.
this thing saved his life 3 times.
Let's see here. Who taught you how to carve so well?
My stepdad. When my mom died a long time ago, I was still in school. My stepdad made me a wooden figurine of my mom's dancing. She was a ballerina, and that's how I always remember her, dancing. And he told me that when he was in the Navy, he made carvings of his parents so he didn't miss them as much. But the figurine itself doesn't matter. It's a feeling you put into it as you carve it. Nikita turned the grinning wolf. Nikita turned the grinning wolf head in his hand. It didn't have eyes. Nikita laughed.
How about, maybe you can still tell me what bothering you. I know I'm a little stranger, but I'll be gone soon. It'll make you feel better to talk. Give it a try.
Nikita hesitated. At last he sat the knife and carving down. He rubbed his temples. Back in Kiev, my stepdad had run out of cartridges, and he killed a wolf with his knife. But then Nikita's throat caught. Another beast attacked him from behind and bit his hands off. Ironic, right? He had a knife, but no hand to wield it. The wolf didn't even finish him off. It was going for Gavrilov, but my stepdad grabbed it with his arms and held it back. The wolf tore at him, but my stepdad held on until he bled out. If Seva had arrived 30 seconds later, the wolf would have gotten Gavrilov too.
I'm sorry about how it turned out. But what did Gavlov do wrong? He almost died too.
Yeah, there was nothing he could have done.
Nikita closed his eyes.
All he had was the Makarov, and it's like a flea bite to those black wolves. I don't know if he'd do what my stepdad did for him, but he's not to blame for his death. The blame lies elsewhere.
Another? Who?
Me.
Nikita turned the carving in his hands, and then he slashed at it with a knife.
We shot one beast. The wolf was going to run away. My stepdad yelled for me to stop, but all I cared about was showing him that I was a tough guy too, that I could handle a wolf one-on-one, and injured to boot. I left the others far behind and chased after it, and what I had on me was only an assault rifle with a full magazine. I caught up with it and finished it off, but when I came back to the others, I saw my stepdad's body. Now it's my turn to say something, I said, watching the horizon. When I was traveling to...
Oh, wait, this is me. Now it's my turn to say something. I said, watching the horizon. When I was traveling to Kiev, I met a good guy. He thought I was a bandit, so he tied me up and was planning to torture me. But then a wolf attacked him. A wolf that had followed me all the way from Bryansk. It bit off the guy's head. Do you think I'm responsible for this man's death?
That's a completely different situation.
Am I responsible? I repeated more forcibly.
No, I don't think you're responsible,
Nikita replied, and suddenly his face reddened.
But you know what? Even though nobody would have said you were to blame, you still know that it was your fault. You know you've got that man's blood on your hands.
But it had nothing to do with me. And you. Could you have done something?
Don't you get it? It doesn't matter. Whether you could have done something or not, you're still responsible. I don't blame you. I don't believe that you sleep soundly at night after that.
I didn't know what to say to him.
Time to go.
Nikita stood up.
We'll kill those monsters, every last one of them. And then maybe it won't hurt so much.
All right, let's go. The small squad, led by Gavrilov and Yuri, was already waiting for us. When he saw Nikita, the investigator gave me a thumbs up.
but I was lost in my own thoughts and didn't respond. Nikita's words were playing on my mind. I remember the old hunter, and Galaya, and Sasha too. When all was said and done, I was solely responsible for what had happened to them. When a person dies, the responsibility for their death falls on you. There's no such things as there was nothing I could do, especially if the person was someone you loved. We finished our march about 300 meters from our destination. The wind hadn't changed. There had been no incidents on the road. Garvalov sent the scouts up ahead. They came back with 15 minutes. After consulting Yuri about something, Garvalov called me over. Listen carefully.
Listen carefully. There are 9 wolves near the slaughterhouse. 4 to the east. They're sleeping. And 5 to the south. They're up and alert. We'll take the brutes by surprise, he continued. We're splitting the squad into 2 groups. We'll attack simultaneously. The first group will throw smoke bombs at the 4 sleepers from behind covers and make Swiss cheese of them. The other group will go around the 5 wolves from downwind, take up their position, and open fire on a signal. And decide if you're going in the first group or the second group, Garvalov said. The first group is the less risky choice. The wolves will be asleep. But you're needed more in the second group. You're an old hand at this. And our guys aren't even professional hunters. From some of them, this is the first time they ever had a gun. They're afraid, of course. Although, he added, you shouldn't underestimate the sleeping wolves. You lead a paranoid, Pavel. I've always said it, Yuri chuckled. But seriously, why the hell are we splitting the squad? We can deal with the sleeping wolves in one go, and then all go up against the wolves of 5. It's not that complicated. You're clever. Strategizing isn't needed here. So what's your decision? Said the former investigator, turning to me. We gotta split up. That's the best choice. How about, let's do number 2. I'm going with the second group against the wolves that are awake. Makes sense, Gavrilov praised. Yuri thought for a moment, but then he nodded too. It was settled. The operation began. Trying to move silently, we approached the slaughterhouse building. Yuri and another 5 hunters ran behind the truck. Each man took a smoke bomb. The wolves were sleeping very closely by, on the other side of the truck. After confirming that everything was going to plan, I, Gavrilov, Nikita, and another 4 hunters advanced south through the undergrowth. We cut a wide berth to avoid alerting the 5 wolves before we were ready. At last, we took up our positions. We aimed, and just as the sound of the first shot from the east reached us, we opened fire. Fight! Unfortunately, the firing distance proved too great for most of my comrades. I killed 1 wolf, but the others only had a minor injury and started running right at us. How could you miss? Gavrilov shouted, huffing and puffing. Even though they completed the training, the country folk hadn't turned into sharpshooters overnight, but things improved after that. The wolves were running in a strong outline, and they went down on after the other under the heavy fire of the 3 assault rifles. I finished off 1. Gavrilov got the second, and the third was writhing in agony. Yeah, that's it. Excellent work, boys, Gavrilov said, encouraging the others. The last wolf seemed to come out of nowhere. It sank its teeth into one guy's throat. A second later, and it had knocked Nikita to the ground. Gavrilov ran to his aid and whacked the beast with the butt of his rifle. Then the wolf leapt off Nikita with a snarl and tore into Gavrilov's stomach. They both went down. We ran right up to the beast and shot it several times in the head. The wolf dropped dead, but we could still hear gunfire coming from the east. All right, let's run over there.
When we reached the truck, it was already there. The 4 wolves were dead, but Yuri and one other hunter were the only survivors from the group. Yuri ran across the blood-stained ground in a frenzied fury.
I told them, he roared, catching sight of us. Don't leave them wounded. Finish them off. Finish them immediately.
They did everything they could, Yuri, said one of the hunters. Don't blame them. They're not soldiers. Yuri just clenched his teeth. The battle was over. We had lost 5 men and another. The 6th was at death door. Pavel Gavrilov. All right, let's go back to him. The former investigator raised his eyes to mine and tried to smile. A layer of grime and blood on his face made the smile look eerie. Sorry, pal, but you'll have to get Satsov to tell you what you want to know. If you survive this hunt, of course. Nikita walked up to us. Yuri was with him. One looked at the injured man, told him all he needed to know. There was no hope.
Pavel,
damn, was all he could get out.
It's over for me, Yuri. Worry about the other. One who's are injured. And don't waste time. You have to finish the mission.
Finish the mission? Yuri yelled. Who's going to finish it? We've lost too many already. We're bandaging up the wounded and going back to Gorichi.
Yuri, he's right.
If we don't leave now, all these people will have died for nothing. While we take time to regroup, wolves will descend on this place from all over. We need to kill the she-wolf right now.
You're right,
the dying man whispered, gratefully.
Yuri, you can mourn later. Tell the boys to get ready. Redistribute the guns. Gather up all the cartridges that are left. Pavel.
But what if in the slaughterhouse the she-wolf isn't alone? Yuri interrupted. Him, and his voice tinged with anger. What if there's more wolves?
You'll manage. You'll have to. You need to put an end to this. If you let them breed freely, they'll massacre the whole village in revenge.
Pavel, no, you can't, Yuri replied. I can't.
Enough,
Gavril said. He closed his eyes, but then he looked at me.
Now, you're in command. In my place. Yuri, Nikita, do what he says.
What? Yuri gasped. Pavel, are you serious? Gavrilov didn't respond. Yuri scowled at me, threw up his hands, and walked away. Gavrilov strained himself to speak again, but the life was already leaving his body.
Nikita, forgive me.
Those were his last words. Forgive him? He saved me, Nikita said, breaking his grim silence. He saved me, even though he knew the wolf would kill him. Why did he do that? He's worth more to the squad than I am.
He must have really felt guilty about you. But maybe, I added, he wanted to fulfill his debt to your father, your stepfather, who saved him in Kiev. I don't know. All I know is that he was a good man. May his soul rest in peace.
Nikita looked at me in pain. I know that he died because of me. Just like my stepdad. I'd have to live with that. I had no idea how to help him.
Let's go back to the injured. Against all expectation, Yuri fulfilled every one of Gavrilov's orders. Luckily, no one was seriously injured among the survivors, but everyone was wounded in one way or another. The massively depleted squad was waiting for me and Nikita. Yuri was conversing in whispers with another hunter, Gregory.
We're waiting your command, said Coley when he saw me. Just remember, that you're responsible for all of us now, for every one of us. And if anything goes wrong, it'll be on you. Yuri, shut up! Nikita snapped at him. We all looked at the kid in surprise. An oppressive silence hung in the air. What's that? I asked, hoping to defuse the situation, pointing at the small suitcase behind Yuri. I had already seen a case in Gavrilov's hands. Plan B, if our plan aren't enough to take down the she-wolf. Just so you know, we don't have much ammo left.
Alright, let's proceed to the slaughterhouse.
We couldn't get inside the building via the main entrance. The part of the structure had collapsed, but the meat loading gate was blocked off too. Even after we broken the lock, the hinges just wouldn't budge.
There's another way in, one of the hunters spoke up. The slaughter corridor. That's where the livestock would go down before we, well, you know. Alright, let's go toward the slaughterhouse.
There was nothing else to do, so we went around the slaughterhouse from the other side and entered the dark, tampering tunnel, one after another.
I used to work there, at the exit, a hunter whispered grimly. I never thought that one day it'll be me walking toward the light.
The hair on my arm stood up. I don't think I was the only one. Despite the bad feeling in my gut, we made it through the slaughter corridor with no problems. We emerged in a spacious room with a sticky soil floor and dirty reddish-brown walls. Metal grill structures gleamed along the walls, and terrifying hooks dangled above them. Next to the platform we were standing on, slaughtering tools had been abandoned haphazardly, and farther on we saw an entire mound of bones with a human skull among them.
Keep going. We don't have much time.
I spurred the hunters on. We were surrounded by gloom and silence. Some solitary shafts of light filtered through the few tiny windows. The slaughterhouse seemed to be completely deserted, but when we reached the room that held the vats for bleeding a slaughtered animal, Nikita stopped. Shh! Do you hear that? Somewhere in the corner, drops of water were beating rhythmically off the concrete floor. From the wide archway up ahead, a barely audible scrap reached our ears.
What's past the archway?
I asked the former butcher.
The eviscerated room, you know, where you remove the entrails and split the carcasses. Past that is cold storage. The she-wolf is probably somewhere around there.
There's no guarantee it'll be alone. This evisceration room, is it big?
Long and narrow, the butcher replied. We'll have to go in a single file, and there aren't any windows. Turn on your lights, I ordered the rest. Have your weapons ready. All right, so let's see here. Let's take up the rear, which is the safest position that we can do. It truly was pitch black beyond the archway. Our flashlights revealed sharpening hooks below the ceiling, huge steel cabinets, pipes snaking across the floor, platforms, vats, and strange, evil-looking machinery. I didn't know the name of it. The walls and floor were dark with dried blood stains.
Oh God! Gregory whispered. We stopped in our tracks. The scene before us was the stuff of nightmares. Gnawed corpses lay along the walls. They were fresh. Rot hadn't even set in. Some only had the head intact. Below the chin, the spinal column gleamed white in the gloom.
That's Misha, Andre,
Gregory's voice wavered treacherously.
Sergei, Chernyshov. These are four guys, our guys. They were so close and...
His words were drowned out by a terrible growl. I just saw the wolf launch itself in the air, and then it mercifully jawed close around the butcher's head. If I had gone first, I would have been me.
There they are!
Gregory yelled, firing off a round from his shotgun, almost catching me in the shoulder. I could see them now, too. Two wolves, not overly big, but still deadly, were sneaking up on me from behind. After the gunshot, they halted, and bared their teeth. They were both unharmed. Gregory had missed. Somewhere up ahead, I heard a blood-curdling scream. It died away in an instant, accompanied by a burst of automatic gunfire.
All right, let's fire at the wolves.
I shot the first wolf in the head, but the second, which was older, didn't react to the bullets at all. It only hopped back and then went for Gregory's instead.
Surprise, surprise, you filthy animals!
The butcher yelled, tossing his shotgun aside. In the flashes of gunfire, I caught sight of a grenade in his hand. Gregory pulled the pin and hurled it at the wolf. The grenade explosion blasted hunter and beast to pieces. I was thrown backward into the wall. I pushed myself up with difficulty, and I realized that it was all over. It was dark and silent as the grave. I raised my flashlight and looked around. A few paces away from me, Nikita was leaning back against a steel barrel, badly wounded. Yuri and Gregory were busy doing something beside him. The others were all dead. Protecting their mother, the wolves fought to the last drop of blood. But the she-wolf wasn't in the evisceration room at all, alive or dead. It got away! It got away! It was all for nothing! Nikita gripped his head in powerless rage. Wait, look! I pointed at the archway leading to the cold storage. In the beam of my flashlight, we saw a small black wolf cub that quickly darted back into the darkness. It wouldn't leave the cubs, I said, trying to inject some confidence into my voice. That means it's in the cold storage. The back gate is blocked. It's trapped. As if to confirm my words, a piercing whine came from the archway.
Let's go kill it, now!
Hang back, Yuri said, shaking his head. He showed me his gun. I'm almost out.
Check the rest. I have. They're out too, and we took every 39mm there was in Goodinji. Double-barrel shotguns? Are you really willing to go up against the she-wolf with a double-barrel shotgun? There are only 4 of us.
Where's Gavrilov's suitcase? Nikita asked suddenly. Is that his plan B?
The suitcase was lying near the former butcher's body. Bring the suitcase and open it. It's bulletproof vest, Gregory said in surprise. How is that going to help us?
No, it's not a bulletproof vest, Yuri said grimly. It's packed with plastic explosive. Ever heard of the Japanese kamikaze in World War II?
What? That's not an option. Gregory blanched and his voice trembled. There's got to be another way.
I don't see any alternative. Somebody's going to have to sacrifice himself, but put on the vest, go into the cold storage, and when the she-wolf is nearby, pull the cord. Commander.
Yuri turned to me. It's up to you.
Oh, it's up to you to decide who goes.
I didn't know what to say. Sure. Before now, my decision had life and death consequences for these men. But now I had to knowingly send one to his death. I thought of the decapitated hunter again. Back then, I didn't have a choice. Then I thought of Pavel Gavrilov, the butcher, and the others who had died during the hunt. I had made a choice, but I could only guess at the consequences of it. But this was completely different. Yuri, Gregory, Nikita, or me. One of us had to die. You know what? I'm going because I want Yuri to live so I can get his SVD. So let's do that. I'm going. The hunters looked at each other.
I'm going,
Nikita said suddenly, reaching for the vest. Nikita, listen.
I thought you understood me.
Nikita got into my face, breathing heavily.
You told me all that stuff about the hunter that got his head bitten off. No, I know that weighs on you, But there was nothing you could have done. But my stepdad and Gavilov, they died because of me. Get it? Because of me. So I have more right to do this.
And this is how you want to get rid of your guilt?
I want to repay my debt.
Sorry, but I'm the commander here, and it's my decision.
Fine. You're in command, Nikita said, shrugging and turning away.
Yuri helped me get the vest on.
Pull the cord only when you're right up, close to the beast, not a second before.
He warned me. Then he looked into my eyes.
Thank you, on behalf of us all.
Gregory didn't say anything. He just nodded. Nikita was looking away.
Wait!
I heard someone call. I was already approaching the yawning gloom of the archway. I looked around and saw Nikita sprinting toward me. What's the matter? I stopped and turned to the kid.
The cord. It's tangled.
Nikita panted and he pointed down at the vest. I looked down at the cord in confusion, and then I felt like I'd been hit on the head with a hammer. The world rocked around me, and everything went dark. Ooh, that means Nikita stole it and rushed in. I was only unconscious for a short while, seemingly. I opened my eyes into the painful glare of a flashlight.
Lie back! He got you good!
It was Yuri's mournful voice. Then I realized that I wasn't wearing the vest anymore. I figured it all out. Why didn't you stop him?
He told us not to go near, or else he would detonate it right there.
He's already over there?
Yeah.
We didn't have to wait long. Within 10 seconds, the terrible whining behind the archway had increased, and then a boom came from the cold storage section, making the ground quake beneath our feet. For a second I thought the ceiling was about to cave in, but the shaking stopped. Is it done? Gregory asked in a whisper.
It's done, Yuri said, nodding. Nikita did it.
Let's move out, Gregory said in relief. He sighed, stood up, and then the she-wolf appeared from the midnight blue archway. The creature standing before us in the faint, flickering beams of the flashlight bore only a vague resemblance to an ordinary wolf. The she-wolf didn't have fur or hair. Its grotesque swollen body was entirely covered in horrific swelling and blisters that were weeping pus, and a horrible yellow liquid dripped from its maw and eyes. The she-wolf was simply massive, much larger than any of her cubs. Its entire right side, the muscle, ribs, the internal organs, had been blown completely open by the explosion. It dragged its back leg behind it, whining horribly, leaving a trail of blood and slime. But despite all of its injuries, it still looked capable of defending itself. It's the devil himself, Gregory whispered. All right, let's fight. Okay, let's get our gun. How about, let's get the stun grenade. I want to stun him. Let's get that. And let's get that going. Okay. Let's do that. Let's get the stun grenade. He should be stunned. If not, I'll be so mad. Okay, one more. And let's get the... Oh, we missed. For real? Oh, we dodged it! Heck yeah! Alright. There we go. Okay, let's go back here. Let's stun the sucker. Rage 2. Come on, can you guys, I don't know, fight a little bit harder? Maybe I should have the grenade instead of the stun. Oh my god, I am dodging like crazy right now. There we go, there we go. Okay, he's getting more rage. Oh, wow. All these guys are basically dodging. Alright. And one more. Now you do it. There we go. Heck yeah. No injuries. Heck yeah. The monster clung onto life to the very end. When the assault rifles were out of ammunition, Gregory and Yuri reached for the shotgun, but the she-wolf just whined, trying to bite us, refusing to die. Only when we had turned the enemy into a shapeless, bloody mass did its legs give way. And this real-life nightmare, a monster wrought by radiation, rasped its last breath. I left the men in the evisceration area and swept the beam of my flashlight across the cold storage. As I had hoped, the whole litter of wolf cubs, just short of a dozen, had perished in the explosion. Now, we really could get out of here. Alright, we got the grenade. SVD, that's what I wanted, which is like the best gun in the game. And we leveled up. The she-wolf is dead, but we had to pay a high price for her life. When I got to the slaughterhouse, I saw the bodies of Gavrov and the others. They needed to be buried, but there were so few of us, and the surviving wolves could appear at any minute. An hour later, we were already heading back to Gurinichi. A giant pyre burned behind us, devouring the bodies of the brave warriors who had given their lives for their family and friends. Alright, well, we gotta go back, get our reward. Man, that was insane. But before we go, let's level up. Let's see what we got here. Quantity of fish, no. Amount of food, no. Sickness, no. Dodge. Let's do that. Thank you. Alright, so we leveled up. We completed the slaughterhouse, and we got what we wanted, which is the SVD, baby. SVD. That's what I wanted. Alright. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for coming along for the slaughterhouse quest. So, don't forget to leave that like, comment, or subscribe for some more content, some more tips. If you have any for me, I would highly appreciate it. So thank you very much. I'll see you guys next time.